audience. I don't think anybody filled out any paperwork. And we have a presentation from a very special department. You guys.
Alright. My name is Sherry Rice, and I am with the Brown County Health Department in a new position called School Health Liaison. And that was created under Health First Indiana Funds, which is a grant that was made under Governor Holcomb to increase services to the schools, including helping them with vaccination rates, helping them with screenings, different things like that. Under the Health First Indiana, we had to pick 3 KPIs that we wanted to focus on, and tobacco was one of those KPIs we picked. We also picked chronic disease and trauma and injury prevention, suicide under that too. So I've been working with the principals, and they have informed me of a need for vape sensors in the high school and in the middle school. I guess vaping is becoming an increasing problem. We're seeing it everywhere now. So I did go through some training called Catch My Breath, and I am doing some trainings with the 5th grade right now, but I'm able to train anywhere from 5th grade all the way up to 12th grade on Catch My Breath, and that is a vape prevention program. I'm also trained in In-Depth, which is a program to help those that are caught with citations. So we, the Brown County Health Department, would like to present $20,000 to Brown County schools for the purpose of purchasing vape sensors to help with the vape problem in the high school and the middle school.
Do we know how many that buys? Like, what's an approximate cost of one? Do we know?
$1,500, but the ones that he is buying, Steve is heading this up. He bought some that are high end that also detect bullying. So the ones that he is buying, there'll be 2 per bathroom. So this won't fully set you up, but it's a start. But it'll be 2 per bathroom, which will detect bullying. It also detects THC. And it detects crowds in the bathroom, so it does multiple services. So it will, and he's had experience with these at another school. So he has tested them and knows how they work, so.
And I have a quick question. In your education opportunities, are you educating them on the consequences of when they're driving here, and then by the time somebody's 17, 18 are needing a license?
Yes.
Because that's been happening.
Yes, we are. If you go to any of our elementary schools and ask 5th graders about vaping, they'll start talking to you about popcorn lung.
Okay, good.
Yep, yep. Popcorn lung, what you get from vaping. It's been a joy to work with these 5th graders. They're very smart, and they've been very respectful, and it's been a wonderful class. So we're gonna expand this into the middle school and high school, hopefully next year too. So part of this is to get, also, we have to provide the state with feedback on the success of the program. So Steve is going to give us numbers of referrals during this time to report back to the state, and numbers of citations. We would expect citations to go up first, but then eventually we're hoping to see it go up and then slide down.
So is this like could be, like hopefully installed up and running by the beginning of this next school year?
Hopefully, yes.
So it was an actual $42,000 project. You wanna talk about it?
Yeah, you talk about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Still, we'd like to hear
Yes.
that.
Yeah, so this will be happening at the middle school and the high school. So that's the scope of the project. So the 20,000 will get us started in our main access bathrooms. The whole project covers all restrooms, all locker rooms across both buildings. This will be a great start. So we will, with tonight's acceptance of this, then we can get started on getting things purchased and getting on a list to get everything installed.
So, and I just a question came in my head. Are the students gonna be informed about this?
Absolutely.
Okay, because.
Yeah, so
There's
the
two-
whole
two-
thing is not a got you type of mentality. It is, to provide access to services that kids need. And we have more and more kids that, when they are caught, they have conversations with us that, like, I am truly addicted, and I want to stop, and I can't. And this allows us to reach more kids and have conversations and get resources in the hands of families.
Would you come up and accept the check?
Yes.
Officially accepted?
I've got a question, Mr. Can they get them on school buses?
I'm
You come up.
with the right amount of money, I'm sure we can do it.
Are they actually dating on the bus?
Perfect.
Much appreciated.
I had another question though, on those other goals that you had about chronic illness and trauma and injury prevention. Do you have plans for what to do about those things? Can we know about them, or is it coming later?
Oh, yeah, yes, we're working on them. So,
Okay.
those are, the other two goals are not as much school-based as the tobacco one, although a piece of it is under the trauma and injury prevention, we're working on, suicide prevention. So that will be a piece that will affect the schools. So we've got different things in the works that we're doing for that. We are currently passing out suicide prevention kits at several places that we are attending and doing wellness screenings, including Mother's Cupboard, the Pentecostal's Food Pantry. We are going to the apartments, but we're not passing out kits there, the elderly apartments. And we're going to IGA once a month as well. So we're going to different places to do wellness screenings. That's a part of the chronic disease piece.
Okay.
But while we're doing that, we're also giving out information on the tobacco, and we're giving out the suicide prevention kits. We're gonna give those out at the health fair that's at the Y on the 26th, and we're also gonna give them out at the county fair. And then we are working on getting a podcast going, a Brown County podcast going, maybe once a month to begin with, but we're going to have guest speakers on different topics, and suicide will be one of those topics that will be included, and we'll have different guest speakers, possibly from Centerstone and different places. On the podcast, we'll also address chronic disease issues, tobacco issues, and other things like that. So the chronic disease piece, we are doing our wellness screenings, but we are also looking at providing vouchers for uninsured people that have no access to health care. So with our funds, our idea is to provide each person that we need at our wellness screenings that does not have a doctor or insurance, to provide them with a 3-month voucher to go to the wellness center.
Okay.
And then after they do that, Brown Countyans for Better Healthcare is partnering with us to see about either getting them a navigator, a health navigator, or extending their services at the wellness center.
And you're talking about our wellness center, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And
Proactive ND.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're doing our contract with that.
Yeah, so, what'll happen is at our screenings, and this has already happened, we've had people tell us, we've lost our insurance, we can't get on any assistance, and we'll take their numbers, we'll take their blood pressure, their blood sugar, their hemoglobin, their oxygen, their A1C, pulse oxygen, and BMI, and give them all their numbers, and and cholesterol. And we're finding people with very high blood sugars, very high cholesterol, very high blood pressures, and they're telling us that I've had at least 2 diabetics say, yes, I am a diabetic, but I can't afford my medicine, and I have no doctor. So we can help a lot of people in that way. So that's kind of our pet project under the chronic disease one.
Nice.
And then suicide's a pet project under injury and trauma prevention, although we are gonna give out, some grabbers at the fair for elderly people. We're gonna look at fall prevention, bike helmet safety, swimming safety, safe sleep sacks. I'm taking car seat training right now to be a car seat technician. So we're looking at a lot of safety issues under that, but our big piece on safety is going to probably address the elderly in Brown County too.
So just so you know, our KPIs come from the state of Indiana. They actually evaluate Brown County in a 5-year snapshot, and they tell us what our top, key product indicators are. And so what we should focus on, and then we actually submit a plan to them and what they expect, we hope will be the result within so many years. And so with the bake sensors, they do look at these and know that it will be a period of time. It's not gonna be an instant fix. So all of the KPIs that we do have, you can find on the IDOH Brown County Link website. You can go in there and find out all the information of where they came up with the numbers. It's hard to say, but Brown County is the highest in the state of Indiana for suicide. And so, we're looking at those numbers, and, we now are with, is it SOFA? Is that how you pronounce it? Zofer, yeah.
I think it's a suicide, fatality review.
Yeah.
Board that the suicide
Every other
fatality
month.
review board we're on, and they're looking at, asking for funding from us to assist them in their cause as well.
Is that broken down though, as far as where the people actually are residents?
Yeah, it's only residents, yeah.
So if
Well,
you'll
we
go,
lost, and will they look also at overdoses as poisonings? So, and we lost 3 people just last week. So, when you're doing that, at least once a month, you're losing 1 to 2 people. It gets pretty big really quickly. Enough that the governor has, said you have got to start addressing this. So one thing that Sherry did do, and I was so thrilled with the nurses, is they put, these fentanyl strips in these bags, because we don't want people doing drugs, but we can't stop them from doing drugs. But the drugs, we just got notice last week, was it from Lawrence County, that there was a bad batch that had been sent out. So we kind of like blasted the Facebook with it, but these fentanyl strips, they could actually like test their drugs and know whether or not it has fentanyl in it. So, and then we ended up losing 3. So,
also in the suicide prevention kits is a recovery and treatment guide and suicide hotlines and crisis hotline phone numbers that we're putting gun locks in them as well. Gun locks that can lock up a gun but can also trigger lock a gun, because guns did come up number 1 on the suicides for Brown County, followed by the poisonings. And then we're putting Narcan and the fentanyl test strips in there. We're also putting medication disposal kits in there, and then any kind of resources that are in the county for anything anyone's needing, we're putting in those kits.
Is there a major age group that the
Yes.
suicides are falling in?
50 to 80.
Say,
Age 50 to 80. Yes.
So not 20s,
No, not what I thought.
right?
Yeah,
50 to 80.
yeah.
But if you get on if you just Google HFI Indiana, you can get on the report card. I encourage you all to do that. That's very interesting to see what our report card is, because it also reports general life expectancy in Brown County, all kinds of other things, obesity in Brown County. It reports all kinds of different things in there, where we stand as regards to the other counties. So our life expectancy is pretty good because of all these fresh trees, putting off the oxygen for us, so.
What about things like food deserts? Because we're pretty shy on that, right? So
Right.
is there anything the health department can do, you can say, here, eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, it'll help your diabetes, but if it's not accessible, is there any way to address that kind of thing?
Yeah, we're already addressing it with Purdue Extension. So we have a program with them right now that food is
Food is medicine.
is what we're doing right now. And they just reapproached us again. So they actually give out the class and have people, invite people to come, and they're going out and getting people to come in to go to these classes. And what we do is provide the food and the things that they need with the HFI funds.
And then there's other programs we're considering. One of them would be giving vouchers out to the farmers markets. And we can also give some IGA vouchers out as well, but, we're supposed to also address, maternal child health, so we're gonna be like giving $10 gas cards to people that bring their babies in for vaccines. We're gonna give out some diapers to people that bring their babies in for vaccines, so we're gonna look at doing that as well. We're also exploring starting a walking program where we, set up a time and give people a Fitbit and a bottle of water and set up a walking program, but that's just in the beginning planning stages.
So we hear we will be getting HFI money again next year, but it will be cut by 1/3. So this year we got 338,000. So I'm good with that. I haven't thought of it.
So you use two acronyms I don't know. What is HFI?
So it's Health First Indiana,
Health First Indiana.
and it is additional funds that we received from the state of Indiana that is direct answer to the state of Indiana. Now, council does have something to do with it. They have to adopt it, and they have to do appropriations and all that stuff like we do when we use, state tax money. But other than that, I have the direct answer to the state of Indiana with everything that we do and every reporting that I do.
Don't quote me on this from the report card, but I think it was, Indiana was number 37 for health in the US. So, we're not real where we need to be for health. So that's a big part of why Governor Holcomb did this. This started out as a COVID thing to help the schools during the COVID period. They got the, school health liaisons, and then as COVID ended, the grant changed.
And you said something about KPI. What's that?
Key product indicators, so.
Performance.
Performance
Yeah.
indicators, sorry.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, well, we thank you.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Appreciate that,
Thank you
yes,
so
yes.
much.
And of course, if you'd like to stay, so let's get it.
We have class again tomorrow. We're good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
We don't have any discussion items. Approval of minutes of March 17th, 2025. Can I get a motion to accept?
Move
So-
to approve minutes for March 17th.
A second?
I mean, those two both.
Yeah, they both did it, so.
Okay.
Any discussion? We'll vote?
Doug?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Action needed items. Recommendation to approve the out-of-state field trip for Sprinica Elementary School 5th grade class to Kentucky Kingdom on May 16th, 2025. Can I get a motion to accept?
Move to approve state field trip, out-of-state field trip for fifth grades at Springer.
Can I get a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Motion carries. Need a recommendation to approve the out-of-state band trip for Brown County High School Band to Kings Island in Ohio on May 24th, 2025. Can I get a motion to accept?
I so move?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Motion carries. Recommendation to approve the out-of-state band trip for Brown County High School seniors to Kings Island in Ohio on May 19th, 2025.
Move to approve senior
Second?
trip.
Second?
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Motion carries. Recommendation to approve the retirement notice of Kelly Morris effective June 11th, 2025. This is a request, includes the VEBA bridge. Can I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
I guess,
Second.
any discussion?
Gonna miss her a lot, you're gonna miss her a lot.
Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Motion carries. Recommendation to approve memorandum of understanding between Brown County Health Department and Brown County Schools in regards to funding for vape sensors. Can I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes. I have a question about that, I guess. That doesn't say that we're approving the $20,000. It just says we're agreeing to the MOU.
Yeah, so just so you know, the
Yeah.
MOU is basically the program they outlined where they're gonna be gifting the funds. It will go towards the purchase of the sensors and then the reporting that she mentioned. All the MOU is that we are going to accept the money and that we are going to use it towards those sensors and then our reporting requirement, and it'll probably go through a SRO or something. The details will be figured out, and then since, I'm literally getting the money tonight, so then at the next meeting we'll have the, recommendation to accept the donation.
Okay, that was it. I was like,
We had to get that first because,
Yeah.
so.
I gotcha. That was it. I was like, is it part of the MOU? It usually is
Nope,
separate.
it's
Okay.
not, yeah, so that'll be
Next
next
time.
meeting.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Recommendation to approve entering into a monthly contract with Hoosier Cleaning and Junk Hauling LLC to provide second shift custodial services for the Brown County High School and Brown County Middle School starting Tuesday, April 8, 2025. Can I get a motion to accept?
I still do.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries. A recommendation to approve the retirement notice of Paige Burton effective by the conclusion of 2024 to 2025 school year. This request includes the BEBA bridge. Can I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I'm really, really, really sad to see that. My kids both had amazing experiences with Mrs. Burton, so my goodness.
Any more? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries. Consent agenda items, personnel. I'm going to start with separations from Brown County Middle School Assistant Cross Country Coach Dan Smith, effective October 3, 2024, down to the transfers of Brown County Middle School 6th grade boys basketball coach John Tierman to 7th grade, boys basketball coach effective April 7, 2025. Can I get a motion to accept?
Move to approve those consent agenda items.
Can I get a second? Any discussion?
Glad Miss Holly is coming back.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
excited about that.
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries. We do not have a superintendent's report tonight. Legislative update.
I forgot I was doing this, but I will tell you that, and I don't know what happened today, because, the bill that I've particularly been watching, was to be voted on in the Senate. That's the partisan school board bill. It was passed by the House by a very close vote. And then it has to go back to the Senate where it started because it has different language. And I guess I forgot to look this afternoon and see what the vote was. So I need to check that out. But I do want to thank both of our Representative Dave Hall and our Senator Eric Cook, both of whom voted against this bill, which, you know, I personally don't agree with. I don't think we should have politics in school board races. And I just want to thank them for that. There are a number of other bills. This is going to be, the next 2 weeks is going to be budget time. So they're going to be talking a lot of property taxes right now. Everything that's gone up to this point is sort of like, doesn't matter. We're just going to, whatever happens now, they're going to get their numbers as far as the projections for income, and then they're going to make their decisions. So it's going to hear a lot in the next couple of weeks. And if there are any bills that you're concerned about, they are all either have to get through committee, I think this week. So if it's not out of committee by this week, then it fails. And then it has to have second and third reading in that, back to its house, originating house. I'm trying to think about the other education bills. Again, most of it, of course, is budgetary, so we're just
One
gonna
of
have
them's
to.
about property tax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Well, there are three different bills, right? There's H-101, there's Senate Bill 1, there's also Senate Bill 518, which involves a lot of other school issues. And then there's the governor's proposal and the Democrat proposal. All of them have a different way of how they want to spend those funds, and so we just, you're gonna see how they all work that out. So we just have to kind of sit and wait, but please do contact your representatives and let them know that you support public schools, because a lot of the money, there's still a number of charter school initiatives that are out there and voucher initiatives. This year have a bill before them to have universal school vouchers, and so a lot of that money goes to charters and vouchers first, and we as public schools get what's left over. And we don't think that's fair, and we think that we should be supporting our public schools. So that's my soapbox for today.
All right, thank you, Amy. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for coming.
Pass the signs down, please.